Look! Another clue!
Oh my god, that killer killed Cole! That criminal! Oh, let's go see what the clue is.
What are you doing?
What, you think I'm gonna keep playing? Guy's dead. I'm calling the police.
Come on, man. You're supposed to play the scavenger hunt, and then I'm supposed to kill you.
I ain't gotta do nothing.
You know, sometimes I wonder, how are the greats able to do it so well?
Red Hook is the story of a group of kids who would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for a meddling serial killer. The film, and I use the word film for it is art, is another take on the slasher genre, even though one of the characters is clearly possessed by a Kandarian demon right out of Evil Dead.
Oh, you guys, so sweet. Too bad.
Our main character is Jenny Traylor, of the Traylor Estate. Her pastimes involve watching her sister being killed by the local authorities. In all seriousness, the film is supposed to be a story of how death and murder surrounds her life, but for the most part it's played off like a sitcom. Even the intro feels like it belongs in a romantic Japanese animation comedy about high school students. The main plot, which doesn't take effect until after the credits, is a college scavenger hunt. However, during this hunt, members of Jenny's dorm are being murdered by someone, who is most definitely not this guy. It is this guy. It's pretty obvious it's this guy. He often makes it clear that it's him.
Because you could be killed inside the room.
We're introduced to each of the characters, while our main character is put into situations where she feels like an outsider. For the first half of the film, it's just awkward interactions between all the characters, which, by the way, is the most genuine part of the film. Honestly, there's points where I wonder if the camera was just left running and this is just them out of character. Before the director decided it was going to be a horror film, we see Jenny quickly fall in love with local psychopath Gavin. They date for all of 2 hours before someone's shot in the face. Jenny, having witnessed yet another murder, chooses to go back to her dorm. Naturally, other members of her dorm try to force her out of her room and try to get her over the fact that she was almost killed. Excuse me? Girls just saw a robber get shot in the face not even 15 hours ago? Is this what it's like in New York? Oh yeah, people get shot in the face. Forget about it! Oh, you're upset because someone was killed and it could have been you? Grow up and play our scavenger hunt. So one by one our characters are being killed by someone calling themselves Red Hook, while the audience is left wondering, who is the murderer? Is it Tim, the RA who started the scavenger hunt? Is it the police officer who may or may not be a pervert? Or is it Gavin, the man who has a fetish for killing people? Oh, but it can't be him, because we're left to believe that he was taken hostage, even though Jenny was also apparently taken hostage. So the intentions are to leave us guessing, which of the three could it be? But in reality, there's no motives for any of the characters to be the murderer. So all we have to go by is the fact that Gavin is a total psychopath. So this removes all question. So, okay. Our different characters are one by one being killed. And let me clarify what I mean one by one. I mean, we kill off one girl within the first 40 minutes, then we kill off everyone else within the last 20 minutes. Like the early Friday the 13th films, the characters don't realize that the others are being murdered. However, at one point, the characters have been broken up into groups. The first group gets a clue stating Gavin will die if they do not find the other clues. Along with this clue is a finger in a baggie. The other group gets a series of images of Tim being stabbed in the chest, which again makes it very clear that he is not the killer. So at this point, both groups have reason to believe that something is going on. Now, Group 2 was only subject to pictures, which can be fake, but the other group was sent a human finger. This is where it's different than other horror films. See, now the characters know there could very well be a murderer, yet they continue to proceed with the scavenger hunt because, white stripe ticket.
White stripes tickets for the prize.
This makes absolutely no sense. The police would be contacted, which any of the characters can do. The film revolves around the use of cell phones. Any one of them can call the police and be like, "Buddy boy here got his thingy cut off. Loudy, loudy, I do declare. We need some police brutality up in here," or, something like that. They're all in public places too. It's not like they're trapped in a building where there's no cell reception or any means of contacting the outside world. What's even more interesting than the characters continuing to do the scavenger hunt is the fact that the killer was able to move a dead body from one place to another.
What a waste.
I don't know for sure because, frankly, I don't care to look it up, but if Camille was killed in the park where people, do it, then her body was then moved to a gym which could likely be, 20 to 40 minutes away, assuming traffic isn't bad. I like to think Buddy just got onto the 135 bus with a dead body and everyone assumed she was asleep.
Don't disturb my friend. He's dead tired.
They should have made the film a dark comedy where Gavin struggles to take Camille's dead body Weekend at Bernie's style, switching bus to bus, trying not to reveal that she is actually dead. Now that would be something. A very big issue with the film is that all of the characters are just the worst. I would start off by saying Angela is selfish. However, that applies to the majority of the characters. The characters also have this one-dimensional approach to them. For example, we have Paula, whose only characteristic is that she wants to be a reporter. Back to Angela, she wants to be on Broadway. All the male characters are trying to have sex with anyone. Tim's an idiot, and Dina's a lesbian. She's actually the only good character. I was shocked to see the film ends with her punching the killer in the face. Another big issue with the film was the editing. Sure, there was a couple of camera shots that really made you question your life choices, but for the most part, it could have been worse. But post-editing, on the other hand, right away, we are hit with songs that seem to be too loud. Within the first 30 minutes of the film, they play like 5 different songs. It was like watching a movie that a kid made in high school. Every moment that there is footage, there must be music blasting over top of the recorded audio. Another thing they've done a lot of was camera shots of a map. Now, the idea is for us to think that the killer is planning his attacks. These shots were used for interludes, even though there was really no need for interludes. In reality, these scenes just exist to increase the total length of the film. Along with the scenes of the map, we also occasionally see the day of the week appear on the screen. But apparently they couldn't afford any capital letters. I guess they used the budget on Angela's name. This is actually how they credit her name. This is no joke. Post-editing is what they call movie magic. Here's the most magical scene, with exception of Jenny's magic towel. How does it float like that? We'll never know. In this scene, Jenny and Gavin are on their first date. A classic romance trope is always rain. I guess rain represents falling in love because rain is subject to gravity. Well, sure enough, it rains on their date. But wait a minute. There is no rain. There's an umbrella, but there's no rain. It's a bright and sunny day, but there's some sort of magical rain that we, the audience, cannot see. Now I understand that CCR song. No, I haven't seen the rain. Have you? Coming down on a sunny day. So eventually everyone is dead. With exception of Jenny and Gavin and maybe other characters I forgot were in the film. The retired police officer from earlier comes and shoots Gavin, finally ending the film. Okay, after he kills himself, it's finally over. The officer tells Jenny she's safe now. where she replies, "No, I'm not." And we are presented for the last time the day of the week. Then we get our credits. Now, in the credits, I couldn't help but notice all the website addresses. Now, there are websites for directors, screenwriters, production companies, and so on. We even see www.redhookmovie.com at least twice in the credits. So naturally, I was wondering if the website is still active. Maybe there could be information on Red Hook 2, where we see Jenny enrolled into a mental facility where she becomes a murderer. So I turned on my good old Windows computer and I went to redhookmovie.com. So the website became one word. Janda. Translates from Indonesian to widow, which in a weird way kind of makes sense, seeing that Jenny's one and only love, Gavin, died. This must be some really deep postmodern art. So to confirm my theory, I checked the Wayback Machine and confirmed that I am an idiot, and this means nothing. There was a website that actually retained to the film. It listed the cast and story and news on where to get the movie and how to see it. So as far as websites go, they at least put effort there, keeping in mind, of course, that this website would be about 10 years at this point. So by this point, you'd think I found everything. Well, if redhookmovie.com isn't owned by the director or studio, and actually it looks like it might not have been for a while now, I wondered when the next renewal is. I checked GoDaddy's Who Is lookup, and what I found, well, it was interesting. The domain was set to expire exactly 2 weeks after I started this review. For some reason, this took a little while to achieve, but after 2 months, I became the owner of redhookmovie.com. It's mine now. And this isn't a joke. I paid for this website, and I intend to keep it for quite a while yet. So what I've done is created a brand new website for the film. Now, the old website, it was good and all, but it was lacking. For example, both the film and the old website failed to explain why Paula wanted to be a reporter. Well, now on the new website, there is a bio for each of the characters, and you can see the reason that Paula wants to become a reporter is to take up her father, Howard the Hawk Price's legacy as New York's best investigation journalist who had gone missing many years ago. I also dedicated a section to our star Gavin. Oh, but wait, there's more. I've also gone ahead and created the Red Hook movie The Game, where you play as Dina and you get to punch Gavins in the face. Concluding thoughts. This movie I bought at a dollar store, along with a couple of other films in a volume pack. But was it worth it? As bad as it was, there is definitely worse films out there. And the fact that I own the website, it makes it just a little bit more enjoyable. So I think it was worth it. Or at least whatever I paid GoDaddy to own their website was worth it. But one last thing before I end this review. Red Hook had ideas of what makes a movie a film. Take their trailer, for example. First thing we see is a statistic about crime rates in America, stating New York has the lowest in the 10 largest cities. This works very well for the film, especially when our character is paranoid of being murdered, and death seems to follow her. Similar things can be seen in other films where they use statistics, facts, and quotes to convey a message related to the film, which can draw an image for the audience of what the film is. However, we are then presented with a citation to Wikipedia.com and not the actual citation, which ironically draws an image for the audience of what this film is. We have an understanding of what needs to be done to make a good movie, but we blew it.